Chris Hansen live in Oahu, 1247. It's a microwave thing. I was just sitting here going through my Facebook. Um, I woke up at 9 o'clock tonight. Everything was normal. I didn't feel any kind of waves in my head, nothing unnatural. It was like it was all shut off. But now all of a sudden, just after midnight here, I felt it's like somebody just turned a switch on. I felt all this stuff just start coming, raising up in my brain, all these imprints, and then it just started. It just started making me out of my normal realm now. It's got my brain hearing all this. They're pumping, and this thing's laughing now. It was coming from the north, now it's coming from the west. They obviously have stuff north, south, east, and west, and probably even all over on the other angles. Um, it started making just I could feel the stuff like bubbling and lifting up and going through my brain, and I could feel the focus of the waves on my head and the probing around. Like I said, it was just like they turned up uh, uh, a knob in my head. They're programming my brain. Um, I got this. Well, I don't have. I was watching earlier. There's some dude with a bald head, all bald, all in a white room. Um, and this, I think it's Sophia, some AI, and she's bald with a face, and this guy sitting there talking with this robot, and he's looking like he's a robot. And I just instantly started thinking about Duncan and how he said that they were doing EEG cloning and they were taking stuff from a robot and putting it on a person's brain, putting stuff on a person's brain over to the robot. Um, and this hyper game theory he was talking about how they can clone another person's mind and all their senses onto another person's brain. And I just think that what they're doing to me is totally, they're totally crazy. They're nuts. They're programming my brain. They're obviously wanting to play God here. Um, they're putting this stuff in the robots. They already got this robot in law over in Saudi Arabia as being a citizen. I mean, they made this robot a citizen already. This guy just got done saying something to a transgender guy and said, "Oh, you were born a male or something. You're a male or something, naturally. You're a genetic male." I'm forgetting the exact wording. I was just reading it on the internet, and they fined the guy $55,000 for saying this about the guy. It was the truth. I mean, they're bringing on this homosexuality, this transgender stuff, and saying people are discriminating against them. Um, what's next? I mean, they're programming people's brains. They're making robot citizens, and then what? If you say something against a robot, you're discriminating. Or they can sit there and try to program your brain like a robot, and it's legal. This government's playing God too much. I don't believe in transgenders, homosexuality, any of that stuff. It's a choice. God says, as it was in the days of Lot, so shall it be in the second coming of man. Lot was in Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's exactly the days we live in right now. these guys are running around transgenders. A man thinking he's a female, females being with females, males being with males, girls, getting screwed by donkeys in Mexico, for a show over a Heineken, or a Corona or something. We're living in a wicked and evil generation. Right now they're sitting there messing with my brain here in Oahu, Hawaii, with these psychotronics. This is a live record of it. This is going on right now as I speak here. And right now, it's 1 o'clock. In the evening. It started at about a little before 12:47, but I actually started, after it was doing it for like 5-10 minutes or so. I decided to just make a record of it, of when they're starting it again tonight, because it started getting me to the point where I was getting, I couldn't handle it in my head again, and I was just getting crazy. Last night it spun me out so bad. It's man, I don't want to go through that again tonight. It's utter torture. What they're doing is crazy. They need to be stopped. They need to be stopped. That thing's laughing right now. Running goddamn blasphemous. That's exactly quote unquote what it's saying. Saying stuff about the Holy Spirit. I'm a Christian. I don't, they should be hung by their necks, like Saddam was saying, for war crimes against humanity. They need to be locked up in prison, do a natural life something for the terrorism they're doing on this country. They're traitors to God, man, and country. I don't believe in the death sentence necessarily, but I know that terrorism and crimes against humanity, they hung Saddam. I think they hung Saddam. They got it live, right up to the point where he had the rope around his neck, and then they just kind of, they don't show you the actual hanging. For all I know, he's still running around like Noriega on the CIA payroll, But, supposedly you're supposed to be hung by the neck for terrorism and war crimes against humanity and your own people. What they're doing right here now is they're trying to commit induced suicide, walk people into their deaths, premeditated first-degree murder, or some new age way of sacrificing people by making you nuts, like Barry Trower says. During MK Ultra, they would take a normal, sane person and cause insanity, then have a unknown psychiatrist diagnose you with schizophrenia or some mental illness, and he says that was a success. Now they drive you nuts, to where you're wandering around in the street looking for these people honking horns or beeping or something, and they just have the police department come up and shoot you to death, and then say, we got to take away people's gun rights, or we shouldn't let a mental patient or somebody who's in mental health own a gun. Because, I don't know. I've met some mental health people that are more rational and more coherent than the people committing this terrorism and these atrocities. They're the ones that should be actually locked up and have their gun rights taken away, because they're an actual severe threat to society. And not only that, but they're armed. with these psychotronic microwave weapons, and then they have the right to have a gun too. They're nuts. They should be locked up and the key thrown away and never be let out again. Why they're running around in society with doctor licenses is beyond me. Okay. This Chris Hansen is going on right now live in Oahu. And right now my legs are spasming. As I sit here in the chair, I just ready to end the video and they just started cranking it up. They're sitting back. I can hear them talking, and now they're putting riotous frequencies in my head too, and spinning all these swear words through my head. They're just doing a lot of stuff here that needs to be documented, and this is the documentation of it. It's Chris Hansen. Right now it's 6, and another thing, it's 6 after 1 right now, and another thing what they're doing is try to put it on the clock here. It's 6 after 1. Another thing that they're doing, I notice, is they're starting this just before midnight. I mean the really severe stuff, or just it's either right before midnight or just after midnight. So it's definitely and it's right before noon or right after noon. They're doing this. I don't know if it has anything to do with their 2 minutes to midnight. Around midnight, cultic stuff, but I'm sure it does because they're all Luciferians and Satanists. They're just pummeling me right now with these microwaves. Right over from the west area. This lady Blasphemer. It's like they're all congregated over there somewhere, or they got some kind of seance going on or something through this thing. God, Jesus help me. I'm going to end this video. It's getting posted to Facebook. I'm losing control right now, man. It's fucking driving me fucking out of my mind right now. They're turning it up. She's laughing right now.